Hello, everybody, and today I'm here to talk about Ted Season 2, Episode 1. Ted Season 1 was a real success. It was so successful that they decided to do a Season 2. And it was definitely a lot of work for the cast and crew, but they finally managed to pull it off. Thank you so much, Seth MacFarlane. But I gotta say, this first episode was definitely a blast. A crazy episode for sure. I'm gonna review the show weekly. I thought about doing just one long review of each episode, but I don't know, I feel like just doing an episode a week to look forward to reviewing Ted. Just like I did for Season 1. So, I think the episode is called Dirtier Me or something. Sorry if I got the episode title wrong. It's where John and Ted decide to call a sex hotline. But after getting too much involved in it at school, they end up almost getting caught. But this reminds me of the Beavis and Butthead episode where the duo immediately call a sex hotline and they hear a woman's voice trying to sound sexual, and it turns out to just be a bum living at some dirty home. But for John and Ted, they decide to take full advantage of this sex hotline. They literally get as many hall passes as they can, skip class, and just listen to that voice. They try to call at the house, but they realize that the dad wouldn't like it, Maddie. So they just keep on taking advantage of this. We even hear the song Call Me play, but it isn't until the principal walks in and she wants to know who's behind this, and she decided to get a school board member to get involved to find out who it is. But it's revealed to be, I forget his name, but he is the actor who played him. He sounds very familiar. I swear I've heard him in some commercials or not, but he is no stranger to Seth MacFarlane projects. He has worked on The Orville. He actually had a small role in Ted Season 1, and I'm sure he's done various other projects for Seth MacFarlane. But his character was hilarious, just the deep voice, and he said he's willing to kill to get whoever the masturbators are, and he says they only get caught every 48 hours, which I thought was hilarious. But once the duo go home, they freak out, and they're wondering how are they going to handle this? How are they going to get out of this situation until they come up with a fake school classmate name, and they try to convince the school that he was behind this whole thing, and the person's name is Jeremy. They decide, I don't know why they came up with Jeremy, but they decided to sneak into the school's files in the principal's office after she leaves, and they hide until the representative walks in, and then he catches them. But he's wondering if it's them who's behind all this. But they said they managed to find the files. And of course, Ted and John somewhat get off the hook, but they have to prove that Jeremy is real. So John gets on a disguise, and he puts on like a mustache, a motorcycle thing. And Ted is able to convince the whole school to come outside. And they literally watch John jump the shark from the Fonz, and he literally falls off, but he breaks, I think, his leg a little bit and gets some scratches. And I feel bad for John that he has to do all this, but of course the school is happy that they managed to find out who he was, and the school representative decides to let them go. But during all this, there was a subplot where we see Blair. I love how we saw Blair in this show. I love Georgia Wingham. New celebrity crush. I still love Jenna, though. But, of course, her character, she is having issues with her family. Her father wants to return. And Maddie, of course, approves, but Blair does not. But once the uncle shows up, he basically just bullies Maddie the whole episode, and we get a shot of Scott Grimes' ass. It's just so wild, hilarious. But I'm surprised we saw the uncle character in this show, because he was mentioned in the first episode, and I was confused who was who in this show, since they did retcon the parents from the first movie. But of course, once the uncle shows up, he just acts like a total jerk. He's basically a bum who doesn't really do much, and his wife left him, and he tries to find various ways to convince Blair to come back home, but after making some flirty comments towards Susan and Johnny, Blair just basically just grabs the food they're eating at the table and just shoves it down his face, and he basically just gets out of there. But of course, Blair and Maddie are able to reconcile at the end of the episode, and the episode just ends with Maddie asking who the perpetrator was in this episode. But this episode was definitely hilarious. It was just Ted antics where he just learns something and he tries to go on it. Kind of like Beavis and Butthead. If you've seen that episode, you probably know what I'm talking about. But this episode's definitely a 8 out of 10 for sure. I don't know if it was as good as the first episode from season 1, where that was a 50-minute episode where Ted is trying to fit in at school. But the next episode is even crazier for sure. So be on the lookout for that. I'm really glad I'm reviewing Ted Season 2. More on the way. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.